Hello friends, our second day of Vlogmas kicked off with a wonderful delivery of the latest issue of Daphne's Diary. This is a magazine I discovered last summer and I love it. It features a whimsical mix of artwork and photos and handwriting that had me and the girls completely in love. Inside this wonderful magazine is a hodgepodge of articles. They aren't really organized in the same way that consumer magazines are organized. You sort of never know what you're going to find. And did I mention that there's always some little gifts tucked throughout as well? And it's just such a lovely magazine, and it's a real treat when we receive it at home. And this Christmas issue has loads of wonderful things and loads of inspiration. I quickly left the girls to go whip up some dinner using a leftover chicken roast from Sunday, and I will be making a Thai coconut chicken curry with some coconut milk, and I'll be using a red curry paste which I pick up from my local Chinese supermarket. I have some frozen bell peppers, and I'll also be using some frozen peas and some carrots just to bulk it out. And I have a half a cauliflower that's looking a little bit manky, but never mind, when you chuck it into a stir fry and you trim off some of the manky looking bits, you have a lovely curry. So this shouldn't take too long to make, really, because the chicken is already cooked. The main thing that I'll have to cook is the cauliflower. So I'll just start off by trimming the cauliflower and chopping and preparing all of the vegetables. And while I'm doing that, I just wanted to chat about a life lesson that's really stuck with me, that has been making a major difference for me this year, and that's about being flexible with changes in your plans. Generally, once I get something in my mind, i.e. a plan, it can be tricky to let go of it and to go with the flow. That's always been a major struggle for me. I was taught, and to some degree it is certainly true, that success or successfully completing a project requires perseverance. At the same time, however, inflexibility creates an enormous amount of inner stress and is often irritating and insensitive to other people. As I've gotten older, I've learned the importance of stress management and just learning how to manage it and to let it go, because stress is a massive contributor to a lot of health conditions and issues. So it's in our best interest to learn how to lower stress and how to mitigate stress. I like to do the majority of my planning, my works that are outside of the family, in the wee hours of the morning. And I might have the goal to complete one or two things before anyone else in the house wakes up. But what happens if my 11-year-old wakes up early and walks downstairs to see me? My plans have certainly been altered, but how do I react? Or sometimes I might have the goal to go to the gym before we start the day, before doing the school run. But what happens if I get an emergency call from the school and I have to skip on the gym? There are countless potential examples for all of us, times when our plans suddenly change and something we thought was going to take place, it doesn't. Someone doesn't do what they said they were going to do, or you make less money than you thought you would. Someone changes your plans without your consent, or you have less time than you previously planned, or something unexpected comes up, and on it goes. The question to ask yourself is, what's really important? We often use the excuse that it's natural to be frustrated when our plans change, but that depends, however, on what your priorities are. Is it more important to stick to some rigid writing schedule or 30-minute run than to be available for my 11-year-old? These are things worth thinking about. Is missing a Zumba class worth getting upset over? The more general question, actually, when you think about it, is what's more important? Getting what I want and keeping my plans, or just learning to go with the flow? Clearly, to become a more peaceful person, you must prioritize being flexible over rigidity most of the time. Obviously, there will be some exceptions. What have you got?
This is from this page. From here, because it makes like a paper house.
Oh, you're gonna make a paper house?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
And it's got 2 different parts. So you could unfold it and make it the other way. So it's got this, and it's got this on the outside. So you could have this on the inside, and on the inside.
Awesome. What have you got there, Ari? Oh, is that a big colouring page?
Yeah, it's a big colouring page that is also turned into a poster once it's been finished.
Oh, wow.
I'm just doing it section by section.
Oh, I can't wait to see that once it's done. And meanwhile, back in the kitchen, the onions have been sauteing, and I'm adding the cauliflower to a very hot cast iron skillet in order to sear it. And I find that when I do this with cauliflower, it is such a gorgeous flavor. It's once you start doing this with your cauliflower, that's just going to be the only way to go, especially if you want to use it in curries. So if you've ever thought cauliflower is a dull, boring vegetable, do try searing it at very high heat for a few minutes until you get some nice browning on some of the cauliflower florets, and that will make it chef's kiss. In the meantime, I've added the Thai curry paste to the onions, and I'm just going to cook that for a little bit. Again, cooking the curry paste brings out its flavor so beautifully. The main cooking that's going to be done in this curry is going to be for the vegetables, to soften them a little bit in the coconut milk, and then I'll add the cooked chicken. Since the chicken is already cooked, it doesn't need that much, and so it's about simmering it for about 12 to 15 minutes once all of the vegetables have been added. And so coming back to flexibility versus rigidity, after considering for a long time this year about what's more important for me, getting what I want and keeping my plans, or just learning to go with the flow, and realizing that in order to become a more peaceful and therefore less stressed person, you must prioritize being flexible. I've also found it helpful to expect a certain percentage of plans will change. And if I make allowances in my mind for this inevitability, then when it happens, I can say, oh, yeah, here's one of those things that's going to change my plans. And I think that you'll find that if you create the goal to become more flexible, some wonderful things will begin to happen. Certainly in my case, I found that I feel more relaxed, yet I haven't sacrificed any productivity. And I've actually found that I've become even more productive because I haven't had to expend so much energy being upset and worried. I've learned to trust that I will keep my deadlines, certainly the important ones, and I'll achieve most of my goals and honor my responsibilities, despite the fact that I may have to alter my plans slightly or sometimes even completely. And finally, the most important thing, particularly as homemakers, is that the people around you will be more relaxed too. They won't feel like they have to walk around on eggshells if by some chance your plans have to change. And I have to say, for me, that is the biggest takeaway from learning to be more flexible with my plans. A little star.
We're gonna make two more pieces of string.
So cute.
If that tips, I'm going to have to put in even more wax. Because putting in the waxes.
And there's our leftover chicken curry. It's a coconut curry. It's got some cauliflower and it will be served with some rice. A very simple meal for a Monday after the feast of a Sunday roast. Thank you so much for visiting, friends, and until I see you in the next video, I wish you blue skies, health and happiness. Bye.